Okay, it's day 4 on my Live Below the Line challenge, and I am now having my penultimate Ugali greens. As you can see, it's pretty similar to pretty much every other day that I've had. Not something that I'm entirely used to yet. In fact, I'm slightly worried the Environment Agency are going to head in my direction because I might be breaching some emissions limits. I guess there's only so much cabbage and beans that you can have before you start becoming antisocial. I was going to tell you a little bit about Eri Gondwe in Malawi, and I mentioned her the other day. As I mentioned about Flora the other day, who was only eating mangoes between December and March, Malawi often has a hungry season for those that don't have enough maize to make it through the year. Eri was someone that had experienced that in the community she lived in. People in her community had suffered from a drought, animals had died, crops had failed, and she knew people that had died as a result of that. Her community was particularly vulnerable. Eri told me as we walked down towards her plot of land that she had recently become a widow. She was the mother of 6 children. Her husband had died just under a year ago. Being a widow is hard in any part of the world. Being a single parent is hard in any part of the world, but in Malawi, Eri's situation was particularly vulnerable. What was the really good news for the story for Eri was as she took me down to the crops that she was growing. She showed me this wonderful strip of land where she had green maize when everywhere else it was all brown maize. She had cabbage, she had tomatoes, she had beans, all the kind of stuff that can come into this meal here. And she told me that how as a community they'd come together. They had decided that they could dam a stream which was dry most of the year, and they could then irrigate the land to grow lots of food throughout the year for all the farmers there. They were helped by Christian Aid to make that happen, and one of their partners, the Presbyterian Church there in Malawi. Sometimes people can have their lives transformed through actions like those of you who are sponsoring me and those of you who have sponsored me, and can actually do things that help transform lives like Eri's. Eri told me that she was doing it for her children, and that the extra money that she was able to get from sowing green maize at a time when it was brown, and for the other bits and pieces that she was able to grow on her land, were helping her to buy school uniforms, shoes, books for her children so that they could go to school. And she wanted so many other people in her local community to be able to take part in that. That's why I'm doing the Live Below the Line challenge, so that people like Eri can transform their own lives. And that's why I'm so grateful for so many people sponsoring me so much